So, a little bit late start, unfortunately, but we're here for our bit of a finale, so to speak. I don't think it'll be a total finale. I think we're going to revisit Star Trek from time to time going on beyond this. Um, I've got lots of new cards from opening these boxes, and so maybe refurbishing some of my old decks, going through my especially Klingon and Romulan decks of old and updating them with some new additions could be a lot of fun. Could give us a chance to talk a bit about the game. Maybe a gameplay against Thomas. Like I said, last summer we went through and built some decks out of a box of Premier. Maybe update those a little bit and do a sample game for everybody again. That could be fun. But in any case, today we got the 7th set that I got a booster box of to open, Voyager. Now, this is going to be an interesting one for me for a couple reasons. For one, I've never opened a package of Voyager in my life. So, it's going to be something completely new to me. On top of that, it's also more expensive than any of the other sets that we've opened so far. It's by far not the most, it's still fairly accessible. You can get it for actually fairly close to what the original MSRP would have been. Maybe a hair less, I'm not quite sure on that, but it's still attainable. A lot of the other ones, I think I saw a Blaze of Glory box for $900 US for sale. I saw a Holodeck Adventures box for $700 for sale. You know, there's a few around, but they're getting more expensive and harder to find. And I'm not throwing that kind of money around for this series, unfortunately. It's just not in the cards. But this one is. And it's got some interesting things in it. Voyager went with the Borg. So technically this set released the set right before the Borg, which we opened a couple weeks ago. And the two go together. I've heard that basically it's like one big set that they divided 2/3 of it in this set, 1/3 of it in the Borg set, based around the Delta Quadrant. And then Holodeck Adventure sort of spread across the set that came in next, was based off Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager. So you had all that. It's a big-ish set because of that. It's introducing a new mechanics. It's introducing new factions. It's introducing a lot of new stuff. And yeah, maybe I do need to shave. I don't know. We've got. Let's see here. This is box 24,497.
People starting their crap already?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome, guys. Try and keep it family friendly. Our channel is a family channel.
And our kids see this, and so.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a biggish set. It's a little bit smaller than the Deep Space Nine one, which was the 5th big set that they came out with. It's nowhere near as big as Premier. Premier was a 360 card set. This one's over 200 cards, but which is still definitely bigger than average. The big hits.
What's for $100?
Yeah, I mean, a box of this, $100 US is probably pretty close. I've seen it on sale for close to that. But usually you're going to pay a little bit above $100 from my experience and my looking around for a box of Voyager, which is a little more than twice as much as you pay for a box of the Borg, about 3 times as much as you'd pay for a box of Trouble with Tribbles or Mirror. Over 4 times what you'd pay for a box of Premier Unlimited White Border. So, looking forward to digging into this. Like I said, I haven't opened any before, so all the big characters would be good hits for me. There's the ultra rare in this one is the Pandari Champion.
Hey, Tank.
Dwayne Johnson, the Rock actor, was the character in the show, and so they made them there. Interestingly, it is not the most valuable card in the set, from my limited research. If you get the a nice copy of 7 of 9, that is one with dual affiliations. ID win 22.
I don't. Yeah, I just don't. Is he saying the value?
I'm
of the
not
card?
sure.
I don't know.
The box print number is 24,497. So, if that means anything to you, excuse me. Anyway, 709, very popular character, main crew. It's a dual affiliation. A lot of the crew in this, Neelix, 709, Belana Torres, Chakotay, they all had sort of dual affiliation. And so you could get them with the Federation border or the non-aligned border in most cases. And that made it trickier for collectors to find both versions. Because it sort of split the rarity. It was still a rare, but the rare could be either. It wasn't two separate rare slots in that sense in the print sheets. So for that reason, that drove up the price. She's also a very skill-heavy character. There's a few other things too. The Equinox ship, which is another dual affiliation. Caretaker Array, I've heard, is good. There's a bunch, but here's my little list I made. Voyager, the ship, and the crew. I'm going to be sort of keeping check to see how many of these we get. I've seen 2 other people open a box of this online on YouTube, and one of them got 2 main bridge characters in a whole box, and the other one got more than half of them. So, luck of the draw. We'll see what we find here. Another interesting thing, this box I got, I don't know where it was stored, but look at the top, how curved it is. And the indent on the bottom is similar. Like it is pretty curved. So hopefully the packs inside aren't.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna.
I don't drink a lot of veggie shakes, to be honest, of any description.
I'd rather just chat, stick mostly on topic.
It would be nice to stay on topic.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm just gonna delete stuff that if they don't stop, then I'm just gonna.
Greetings. So let's. I guess I should switch the camera angle so we can see what we're doing here. Set this off to the side.
It's. What is the topic?
Right.
Have you not? I'm sorry. I've not had it's been a stressful day.
We are opening some Star Trek.
We are doing some Star
collectible
Trek
card game from Decipher. It's
okay.
a relatively old box. And like I said, this is the 7th set we're doing. And it's one I've never done before. I'm looking forward to digging into it.
I'm sorry.
Wow, this is...
Man, the interesting folk are out tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, Saturday nights. Often the case. Where on earth is
what
the
are
edge?
Star Trek cards? Have you Star Trek? The show Star Trek?
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. You don't know.
It's a collectible card game that was based around the properties of Star Trek. They started off with Star Trek The Next Generation in 1994. Over the years from then until about 2002, when they rebooted the game, they got rights to add Deep Space Nine characters, the original series, couple sets, and then Voyager. They even had a little extra product that they brought out later with some of the Star Trek Enterprise characters. It was quite popular for quite some time, routinely in the top, 3 to 5 collectible card games for sales through the late 90s.
I guess Star Trek stopped. When did Star Trek stop, really? Like, I mean, they brought it back recently, but...
There's a bunch of new series that are currently sort of coming and going, but, ooh, man, look at these packs. Yeah, I was afraid of this. Look how badly curved these are. This really got squashed. I am relatively disappointed about that. I'm going to need to, stick some of these on books and things. Anyway, but yeah. This set, 201 common, uncommon, rares, and ultra rare cards. And does it show the date on the pack? It'll be on the cards anyway. Let's get started. Well, I'm not planning on grading most of these. I got most of these partially to collect, like I said, something new for me, but also to build decks with, to be honest. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to flatten them out before I put them in a deck. But
what's the rarest card you get from this box?
the rarest card technically is the ultra rare, but then again, you've got all those rares that have the two affiliations and have two different colored borders you can get them in, which makes them just as rare as the ultra rare, basically, if it's a rare card to begin with. So here's one of our uncommons. You can see at the bottom. This is card 160 of the set, and U means uncommon. This is one of the new affiliations that they started just in this set. This is the Kazon. First Maja of the Kazon Oglamar. Voyager is the series of the ones we've covered so far that I've watched the least, so I'm going to struggle with some of these characters and names a little bit more than usual. Uses the slim resources in his sect in hit and run attacks, often staged near nebulae and other astronomical phenomena. So he's a big star officer with leadership, science, astrophysics, navigation, greed. There's a decent amount of skills on there. Halitz, an officer, again, big star, leadership, science. Seems to be an interesting.
So I just messaged Lloyd to see if he's around. We might need help.
One of the greatest Kazon Ogla warriors, serves under Razik, admired by many young Olga, including Carden. Killed a Relora with his bare hands to earn his name.
Ooh, that's your first pack?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, those are curved.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
Yeah, sorry.
The whole box was curved like that, so it's...
Ouch.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed when I first got it.
Hey,
but
Boyd.
I was interested to see what it'd be like. We got into it. Okay, here's our rare. So this one's an officer medical.
They're like 2001. Is that the year for these?
Yeah, you can see the date on the side up here. 2001. So this was getting towards the end of this was the last sort of new property they brought in. You had the Voyager, you had the Borg, and you had those were the two main sets. Then Holodeck Adventures. Then they sort of wrapped up with a motion pictures set in 2002 before they did the reset. So wow, this is like a whole Kazon pack here. The whole thing. We had an engineer, science. Yeah, the lighting is sort of shining on the... I mean...
Is that better?
Yeah, it's a little better. So our rare here is Haran. First Magi of the powerful Kazon Regla.
You probably told us that.
Blood enemies of Nistrim. Commands countless soldiers and a vast fleet of ships, including his own Kazon raiders. So he's an officer with medical, exobiology, greed, stellar cartography, and leadership. So this being our first rare, we should sleeve it. I got a package of sleeves right here. Take a quick look here. Medical, exobiology, physics for one of our commons. So are these... Back to, yeah, this is no longer randomized. So for the last set we did, the commons and uncommons would be randomized together. This is 3 uncommons, and then we've got our rare and then our commons. So this is separated that way.
These are pretty, like, I mean, they're pretty curved. Is there a way that you like to straighten them? Or
yeah, stick a book on it and let it sit for a year. I mean,
oh my goodness.
You know...
Did they come that way, or was that just over time?
Yeah, this whole box was like this. It looks like it was sort of stacked pretty tightly together against something.
Ago, it probably would have been something to call them or message them on and see if they could, I don't know.
I don't know.
They had others that weren't like
Drenel. Officer, treachery, diplomacy, stellar cartography. Strength 6, cunning 7, integrity 4. Planned to ambush USS Voyager in 2371 in a region filled with subspace vacuoles. Vengeful version of Kess from 5 years in the future tried to aid his efforts. Okay, so this, I forget the name of this group now. Here's another one. Typical prison worker bodyguard serving aboard. There we go. Vidians. It's the Vidians. And in ships and installations. Fears the phage will soon leave him too weak to continue his duties. This is a group of people that suffer from a nasty disease called the phage, which attacks their organs and things, and they have to constantly be working on maintaining themselves. Sometimes not through the kindest of means to people they encounter. Anyway, anthropology, biology, greed, and it can download lower decks. Well, that's interesting because they made a whole show called that now. There was an episode called that in the first one. Oh, temporal micro wormhole. So here's a doorway. I've heard of this one. Seeds or plays on table. Your alternate universe personnel and equipment cards may report for duty. Once per game, you may download Space-Time Portal or nullify its report with crew, or download Dr. Telek Ramor once each turn, twice per game. You may report a personnel aboard your ship, regardless of affiliation, then discard doorway. For the rest of the game, that personnel may mix with your other affiliations. So this is a neat way to bring in somebody who you wouldn't normally expect to find with your crew. So in this case, it's based off a story where this Romulan guy showed up and helped the Voyager, or well, worked with them, I guess you'd say. Sometimes against them, maybe. I don't remember that story arc too well. So here's another common Kazon warrior. Here's our first of our dual affiliations. This one's common. One of the Maquis crew members. So they operated before they joined the Voyager crew because of their being stuck with them, basically, when they got thrown to the other side of the galaxy as an independent force. And then they have to work with the Federation because, like I said, they're stuck with them. So that's where a lot of these split characters tend to come in, story-wise, for this set. So Chakotay is the captain of that vessel, and was a former Starfleet officer and helped negotiate this sort of merging of the two crews. B'Elanna Torres is probably his next most senior one. And then you had other characters which join and work with them sort of long-term, like Neelix, who also gets that same sort of dual status. Versatile Maquis, who has served exceptionally aboard USS Voyager. His many assignments have included tactical ops and guarding the brig. Decent stats, straight 7s across the board. Small star is staffing. He's a security officer with astrophysics. Wouldn't hurt.
What would you like?
And this little icon here is Maquis. So before this set, there were a few Maquis in Deep Space Nine. Not a lot, but this expanded the number of personnel available to the Maquis.
What would you like?
Just water's good. Okay. And we got a dilemma, civil unrest. Civil disobedience can often... Is it the curve that's making this harder to focus, or is it just the glare? Can often escalate into full-scale conflict. A peaceful demonstration soon turned violent, entangling Captain Janeway and Tom Paris in a domestic brawl. 2 away team members are chosen random selection. Unless one has diplomacy, both are stopped. Mission continues. So, this takes a chunk out of your team attempting that mission, at least temporarily. So, here's our uncommons, there's our commons, here's our rare.
That's where I got my stuff over on that side, but yeah.
Alright. Some of the packs, see, this one's not nearly as bad. It's a little warped, not as symmetrically, but not as bad as these middle packs. These middle packs really seem to have seen the worst of this. Yeah, I think that's the case. The middle the box probably got pressed.
Move my treasures out of the way.
It might have been stored up on its end and stacked on top of or something for a while. That's my guess. And yeah, the packs in the middle definitely seem to have more of that warp to them. Divert power. Plays on table at start of each of your turns. One of your ships with engineer or green Borg aboard may transfer power until the start of your next turn. Subtract 1 from 2 of its attributes to add 2 to the remaining attribute. So you can tweak your ship's attributes, which can be very handy. Or plays on your ship with engineer or red Borg and computer skill aboard. Weapons and shields are +4 until start of your next turn, and then discard objective, and it's a captain's order. So that's kind of neat. Can definitely give you a boost. It's an uncommon. So is Mortimer Haran here. Astrophysics ×2, stellar cartography engineer, no staffing icons. Loran, officer medical leadership, physics archaeology. These K-zones all seem to have 2 classes to them. Usually officer and either medical or science.
Is this the first box that you've opened of this stuff?
Of Voyager?
Yeah.
Yes, the first time I've ever opened Star Trek Voyager. So all this is new to me, which is exciting in its way, but it does make it a little bit more awkward. And rare is Subspace Fracture, a dilemma for either space or land missions. Instabilities in subspace can cause fractures and chain reactions leading to temporal relocation, death, or worse.
Oh boy.
Entire crew or away team is killed unless engineer, science, leadership, and cunning greater than 28 present. Discard dilemma. So if you've got all that, you score 5 points for beating this thing. Otherwise, that's a pretty steep downside. You lose your entire crew or away team.
Thanks, Void. We did. Yep.
It's not, if you've got a fairly decent sized crew, sometimes science is a little harder to find, but usually you've got engineers and leadership around. I don't know. It depends. It doesn't seem like that's that hard to beat to me, but it's if you don't have it.
His friend always.
It's pretty rough. We can
his
sleeve
friend
that
Jimmy
too.
always used a dilemma deck. He said, "I'm here, but not." We love you too, Tank.
Cavett, Lieutenant Commander.
It's big on the Vulcan dilemma. I forget what ship deck.
I don't remember Vulcan dilemma. Like there's a few, like I've had a few favorite dilemmas over the years, but I don't remember that one, or at least not by that description. Representative non-military K-zone. Civilian security anthropology. Yeah, this was the one I was looking at. Transporter skill leadership anthropology. Posted to USS Voyager. Scornful of the Maquis soldiers and sympathizers. So yeah, this was one of the guys who had trouble with the new people being. Ooh, a Kazon bomb. Unless 3 security and cunning greater than 35, or 2 security and any tricorder, or 3 red Borg present, kills all personnel present who have printed strength less than 7. Discard dilemma. So that's, yeah. 2 security and a tricorder, or 3 security and cunning greater than 35. That might happen. Unless you got a lot of security personnel in your deck. Security was not one that you usually carried a lot of unless you had missions geared to it. So I could see that being a troublesome mission. Villagers with torches. Seeds are placed on table whenever opponent begins a planet mission attempt with fewer than 3 personnel. All are killed unless opponent has thermal deflectors in play. Ooh. Okay, so this is to make sure they're not just sending a crew or 2 to try and clear out dilemmas. This,
I wonder if I can fix the light a little bit better.
It's a nasty way to fix that. Rill representative of females throughout
Oops, that didn't do it.
Kazon.
I'm sorry.
Oh, we just lost our lamp.
I'm sorry. I'll fix it.
Throughout Kazon society, has few rights, little power, part of Ogla sect, one of several women romantically involved with Jabin. And she's a civilian with anthropology, medical, and geology. No staffing.
All right.
Here's small star science, honor, computer skills, stellar cartography,
Better?
loyal Kazon, typical
Just a little bit of a shadow now.
of Kula's soldiers. Stood proudly with his Magi as a bridge officer on the captured USS Voyager.
This is not the best.
And Thompson. Typical USS Equinox crewman. Corrupted by Ransom and Burke's leadership. Science Department head has also manned tactical since the security chief's death. So science, archaeology, treachery, physics. Small star. Alright, I think I'm going to have to keep separate piles for these just because of their curvatures. Usually, yeah, 3 personnel is the only reason usually you would attempt with only 1 or 2 personnel, or even sometimes 3, is just to try to scout for what dilemmas are there, or to try to clear out dilemmas. But yeah, mutation. Plays to shuffle the top 2 cards of any discard pile into owner's deck. Plays once each turn, discard a card to draw 2. Or play one. Huh. Interesting. Oh, here we have a salvage operation. Needs engineer or archaeology or greed. And X is equal to 20 if 1 skill present, 30 if 2, or 40 if all 3. Interesting. So this is a very scalable mission. Any crew may attempt this mission as well. Well, that's very handy to have the option when you're building out a new quadrant. Yeah. Let's put separate piles here for the uncommons too. The gift. If you have guests aboard your ship at a spaceline location, place her out of play and relocate that ship to another spaceline location in the same quadrant. Ship is stopped. Okay, so you can use Kess to get around. And our rare macrovirus. Place on ship. Now and at the start of each turn, kills lowest strength or lowest cunning crew member. Opponent's choice. Ooh, opponent's choice. That's nasty. Cure with 2 exobiology and 2 science. Again, exobiology is a fairly popular skill with medical personnel. And, just whether you've got enough science in your deck, basically. Almost everybody make sure they have medical around because there's so many nasty medical-based dilemmas. Initially, microscopic virus that absorbs growth hormones from host organisms to augment its own mass. After emerging, specimens continue to grow billions of times their original size. Well, that sounds terrifying. So that's our rare. Sethis. Security for the Vidians. Rill again. Rinnell again. Tac negotiation. Tac planet. Obtain information and supplies from a culture with highly ritualistic and gestural language. Diplomacy 3 plus cunning greater than 35 or Neelix in order to beat it. And it can be attempted by Federation, non-aligned, or Ferengi. Interesting. That's a common mission. Corez. Security, treachery, geology, and can download Kazon Disruptor Rifle. Home away from home. Seeds or plays on your ship with one or more staffing icons. If a Delta Quadrant ship with Alpha Quadrant in the lore, while not in Alpha Quadrant, your equipment and matching Delta personnel may report aboard. Once each turn, one who has staff icon may do so for free. Okay, so you get an extra deploy, and they can deploy straight to your ship. That's pretty strong. If any other non-Borg ship, while not in its native quadrant, your personnel who match the ship's affiliation. What?
Just read this, don't say anything. I think we might need to restart the feed for a second. I don't know how to.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got some issues.
Yeah, I think so. We might just have to restart this, but it might take a few minutes. Do you want to just finish this pack and then we can restart it?
All right. Personnel match affiliations in native quadrant and your equipment may report aboard. So this sounds like it's quite a build-around card to help Voyager out. And then we got a Type 9 shuttlecraft may report aboard your Intrepid class and Nova class ships.
Oh, we're down to 2 viewers. That's weird.
Shutter. Yeah, there seems to be something wrong going.
Okay, we gotta
funny here.
We gotta restart.
Yeah, we're gonna have to end the stream, I think, and restart.
Yeah. Okay, sorry guys. Be right back.